What I want to touch on today is tips to increase testosterone naturally. So the first one, and a lot of times one of the foundational components is resistance training, physical activity, but specifically resistance training. And you want to have some type of progressive overload because when you do the weight training, it's going to help produce or boost the testosterone response. The more lean tissue you carry, typically the more testosterone is produced. Obviously, there's a growth hormonal component too. So minimum dosage, I would say minimum is going to be 3 days of good lifting or progressive overload. Another tip, another component that can increase testosterone naturally is sleep quality. All right. You really want to think about 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. And you can track this. I use an Aura ring. Then there's different ways or different devices to track it. So set the environment. You want it dark as possible if you can. Minimize the blue light component, so phones and other devices. You want to also have it cooler, so 68 degrees or lower, so anywhere from like 65 to 68, somewhere in that range. So those are tips to help with the quality of sleep. If you can get that 7 to 9 hour marker point and track it, that's going to help with the body naturally producing testosterone because it's a rest recovery aspect. Another component that can naturally produce more testosterone is nutrition, obviously a balanced diet, specifically with whole foods. If you can stay away from processed foods because you want to minimize some of the chemicals you're taking in because that can impact your testosterone production. So foods that are healthy in fats, lean proteins, okay, and micronutrients. So some of the micronutrients that may impact testosterone and may help with production of testosterone, specifically zinc and vitamin D. So think about that if you're not getting some of those micronutrients in, and you can do testing for this. Foods that will help are avocados, nuts, seeds, leafy greens, obviously like spinach, and fatty fish. So example like salmon, but you want to minimize some of the exposure to the metals that may be in the fish. Another aspect that can help produce natural testosterone is stress management. You want to be able to control stress response. And if you use breathing techniques, you can pull yourself back into parasympathetic. So sympathetic, parasympathetic, fight or flight, arrest, relaxation. So if you understand how to do the breathing techniques, you can pull yourself back into parasympathetic. So that way you'll bring all your stress response down, rest, recovery again. So understanding stress and being able to respond to stress properly is going to be key. So spending time outdoors, obviously, you can do some grounding, walking barefoot. Those are two components. And the last thing I want to talk about is maintaining a healthy percentage of body fat. So the more body fat you carry, that it can disrupt your testosterone response. So it can be a double-edged sword. If you're carrying a lot of body fat, your testosterone levels may be low. So make sure that you're staying in a healthy percentage of body fat because the more adipose tissue you carry, it can disrupt your hormonal balance, specifically testosterone. So if you can get in a healthy percentage of body fat range, it's going to allow your body to naturally produce and utilize the testosterone properly.